Hey fellow world dwellers, it's Angry Turtle, and this is my camp pet, glowing Deathclaw. How do you like it? Do you want one like that? I mean, to be honest, to get specifically one like that, incredibly difficult, as there is no way to choose what pet you will find for your camp, and going after any specific creature probably not the most recommended approach. And I will tell you more about them, starting from the basics, going up to more advanced tips and tricks like how to make Deathclaw your friend that will pose to photos like this one with me. Absolutely brilliant opportunities for photos in game with your pet, whatever the pet is. Now, I spent a lot of time researching this topic, as I need to tell you, I was asked for this guide a lot, but my knowledge was insufficient, and just copying someone else's work, not what I normally do. I need to know everything. I need to do my research. But there is one really good tool that you can find in a written form from Duchess Flame that I will post in the pinned comment, as well as the link to my X post with the map if you want high resolution map for pet hunting. Now, let's start talking about pets. All you need to know: how to start, how to get your first pet for your camp. So, first, what you really need is one perk: Animal Friend. You need to be friend of all animals. And it says that it gives you 75 chance to pacify. It says nothing about adding pet to your camp, but that's its main purpose. And adding pet to your camp is 100%. If you find a pet that you can befriend, it's 100%. It's nothing to do with 75% chance. So we don't care at all about description of this perk card, about aiming. Aiming is not a part of it really either. Can be used as a help, but don't go by perk description. That's the first and biggest mistake that I was doing in the past. Absolutely don't. Just equip this perk. That's all you need. Other recommendation: stealth can be very handy. So if you equip sneak, escape artist, do that. If you can have it, if you can go stealth approach, absolutely do that. The worst thing you could do is drag a bunch of hostile creatures with you that will kill your future pet before you will even befriend it. So that's the first tip. Do stealth if you can, equip the perk card. Then, if you can afford it, I do recommend to get one dedicated camp slot that I called Pokeball for capturing your pet. You can do without it, but two things gonna happen. If you do without it, it takes longer to get a pet, as it needs to travel to your camp. Second, the operation can fail, as the pet can be killed while traveling to your camp. So it's more risky approach without dedicated Pokeball camp slot. How you use it, I will show you in a moment. I have some footage that I recorded on the live stream when I'm capturing this particular Deathclaw, as well on previous live stream. A lot of other animals. But first, where do you go to search for your pet? I have this map for the purpose of pet search. All those red dots are the spots with possible pet spawn. I said possible because the chance that it will appear at any of those is very low. I think it's ranging from couple percentage points to 10%. At least from my experience. There are definitely better dots and worse ones, but unfortunately there is no way to extract this information without a lot of manual research, server hopping, and looking for it. That's why I created post on X to ask other people experience and what are the best spots they found. Okay, now I have the second map when I'm showing the spots that were particularly lucky for me. This is the second map. So this is where I found my Deathclaw. That's where I found a Brahmin. That's what I found Rat Toad. Rat Toad happened to be really cool when I put it in my HUD tab. That was so bad it disappeared so quickly. I mean, died. Wolf was found in here, and Rat Stack I found in here. There is way more animal types you can find and befriend. I will show you the table a little bit later from Duchess Flame website, as she nicely put it together, what is possible. Not every animal is possible to get. For example, Ogwa is not possible, and that's so sad. I would love to have Ogwa, but it's not possible. Okay, so capturing of an animal. What to do? Let's go to the footage when I'm capturing the Deathclaw. As I will play this footage, I will give you additional informations that are very important for capturing of your pet. So this is the location we are heading to. I muted the live stream as obviously back then I was just talking with everyone. Now I want to give you more information. Now we are looking for a pet. As you can notice on the compass, nothing pops up yet, so you cannot use compass too much. I was hoping I will be able to, but it tends to be like not very early warning. When I was sneaking, nothing popping up at all. So this is a problem, and you can clearly already see a Deathclaw in there. Nothing on the compass. And when I'm aiming at it, look. Did you notice? Nothing. Normally when you aim at animal, the option to tame or pacify will appear next to your crosshair. So that's how I almost gave up on this Deathclaw. I was like, oh, this one cannot be tamed. And it's not true. Sometimes it just doesn't pop. Especially when it's white, it doesn't show at all. If it's showing red, which means hostile, it will show from a distance, which is easier. But yeah, two things. Not popping on the compass, nothing showing when I'm aiming. So don't miss on your pet by just ignoring it. Look when I will go closer. I'm trying to aim, like I was like, what? Why I cannot have this Deathclaw? What's wrong with it? And that may be your experience. And the thing is, you need to get really close and you don't even need to aim. You see? You see that? The tame option appeared when I'm very close to it. I'm basically touching it. When aiming does absolutely nothing. When I'm close, the tame option is here. So I'm interacting like with NPC. Like with any NPC in the world. I press interact button, which on PC is E. And I can tame it. Now, how to use the Pokeball camp to ensure that it will be yours and do not disappear, do not fail on the travel, do not get slaughtered on the way to your camp. So, and as well, upgrade. That's included, how to upgrade. So I'm choosing I initially called it a pet camp, then I changed to Pokeball by your suggestions from the chat, by the way. It was like so fitting to name it Pokeball when its purpose is to catch a pet. And now we are placing the Pokeball camp next to a captured Deathclaw. After that, I place Tame and send to camp. You can see it's mine. It says owner is me. It's already mine and it's already next to camp unit. So now all I need to do is activate the camp I want the pet at. So the actual camp, this is my sky camp. If I activate it, the pet will be packed from the spot, so it disappears. It's no longer here. It's mine. It's packed in the camp unit. And then hop the server. Relog, and the pet will spawn at your camp slot selected. Just rejoin the world. And it will be there instantly. There is no wait needed. It will be there instantly with possible upgrade. Upgrade is not guaranteed, but possible. Now the pet safety. So after you have your pet, possibly upgraded, it is actually a copy of a pet. The original level 50 can be still found at my Pokeball camp. If I place it, the original will be there. The problem is even though the original is there, I was hoping I would be able to get duplicate wherever I lose a copy. It's not like that. You lose one, and they will all disappear. So basically, it cannot die. When it dies, you need a new one. If you are a beginner pet owner, it will most likely die relatively early. I heard about some people that were able to keep a pet alive for a couple years, but that's extremely good luck. You need to take into consideration the pet in your camp will be changing, as there is a lot of ways it can die. So, the pet safety. First, you need a relatively pet-safe camp. Of course, bigger pet, easier to keep. What is the biggest danger for pet? Cranberry bug. That's the biggest danger for pet. Flying around creatures, scourge beast, high-level attacks. Like this camp, this Deathclaw cannot survive. My utility camp, Deathclaw cannot survive. I can still use utility camp, but what is important, if you choose your pet safe camp, let's say the sky camp, for me it's pet safe, even though you could think it can fall, but more about that in the second. So for me, that's a pet safe camp. What I need to do, if I want to use other camp, I can activate it now. The pet will not be there. So let me demonstrate. I activate this camp now. Oh, I will die if I fall. So maybe I enter power armor. This is sky camp. More about sky camps in a moment. Let's cover basics first. So I can change. When I will be changing it, it's fine. This pet Deathclaw will stay safely unloaded from the world into this camp slot. So nothing bad gonna happen to it. I just activate this camp. My pet is still safe. So this camp disappeared. Oh, I'm actually standing on the pylon, so I'm safe. There are some hostiles down there, doesn't matter. If I fast travel to new camp slot that is usually under attack, there will be no Deathclaw. But if right now I would go quit the game to main menu and load in the world with this camp active, the pet will spawn in here. And this is high risk camp for two reasons. One, a lot of hostile attacks. Second, underground tunnel system and structures. And what I heard about pets, they can die if they glitch under the map through the mesh of the world and then fall in there. That can be the end of the pet. So camps, sky camps, surprisingly safe. Camps that are underground or with structures partially submerged are actually more dangerous for pets. So partially submerged structures are not the best for the pet. High attack areas, not the best for the pet. So I can use this camp, but every time I want to log out from the world, I need to activate a pet safe camp slot. Either one. I can have more than one pet safe. Like this one on the water seems to be safe so far. I have no problem with it. Although supposedly the pet can drown. So I would not take too much risk placing pets on the water. There is a risk. I don't know how high it is. My pet didn't drown. Doesn't mean it cannot happen. So this is my pet safe camp. No hostiles, no attacks, sky camp. This is my pet dangerous camp, so never place pets here. If I want to log out, switch the spot. If I will crash or something with this slot active, as soon as I load into the world, I need to activate different slot. So hopefully pet will not die. As going to this camp and trying to defend the pet can be too slow. Especially for more squishy pets. So as soon as you load, don't even go there. Activate different camp slot if you are on not safe slot. Now, changing the slot back to this, the pet will not instantly appear in there. The pet only appears at the first camp that is active when you load in the world. So my pet Deathclaw is appearing at this camp slot when I'm loading in the world. After I switch camp slot, it's stored, you can say. It's safely stored. So that's other way. If you don't want your pet exposed, you just store it. You just store your pet by switching camp slots. As you can see, there is no pet here. That's because I switch camp slots. That's my pet spot. It's not in here. Now you may wonder how I managed to get the Deathclaw to spawn in here. We are going into more advanced knowledge territory. How I get it here? It took a whole community to come up with that, but to make things short. First, it is a sky camp, which means it built on a pylon. On this pylon in here, any pylon do the same job, so can be used. Any pylon can be used. It's very high. There is no enemy attacks in this area. As well, it's built on the rags. The pet cannot spawn on the rag. So, because of that, there is no spots considered solid ground. And the game, for some reason, considers multiple miscellaneous structures as a solid ground. So if you use, for example, what I was using as well, like prefab that can be placed here, or this, the river adventure docks, they are considered solid ground, at least the corner piece. So this is the corner piece in here. It's considered the only solid ground in my camp. So everyone that fast travel to my camp, every pet that spawns at my camp, all this will spawn in this spot. Try not to overload it. If you have camp ally, camp robot, and so on, sometimes can be too many at one spot, which is not recommended. Then you can put more pieces like that the game will spread out across those pieces. But Deathclaw seems to always land on the same spot. For some reason, this hot tub is considered hard ground too. So my rat toad was spawning inside it. Deathclaw doesn't. Deathclaw is too big, do not fit. But rat toad was fitting. So I was using it and I could get a rat toad to spawn inside the hot tub and nowhere else. As well, the pet will not move by itself onto the terrain that it's not considered a solid ground. So if this piece is the only solid ground on my camp, Deathclaw gonna stay. It's not gonna walk anywhere. If your camp is on the ground level, the pet will be patrolling your camp. It will be helping you defend, which is good or bad. Like if you don't care about losing your pet, the pet helping you defend, it is okay. It is okay. But if you really want to have the pet to show it, it's maybe not the best. So if I want to drag my pet for show purposes, I have it in here. Just need to go back to main menu and the pet will spawn. Let me show you again. If I exit this world, main menu, back to the same world or different, back to adventure. When I spawn, I always fall down because the sky camps are loading slower than your character. So that's normal. I always fall down, usually break my leg. And I'm now back at my camp and look who's there. Glowing Deathclaw. My pet camp. Back on the spot. I'm still the owner of this glowing Deathclaw and it's doing those cool animations as long as in my camp. Now, if I fast travel away for a longer period of time from the sky camp, unfortunately, this camp mechanics in this game is that the camp practically or partially despawns. So the Deathclaw will end up on the ground underneath this camp, but it will not die. It's not like it will fall. It will teleport down there. So whatever is your sky camp, you need to ensure that directly underneath there is no dangerous enemy spawn point. As your Deathclaw, if you are outside of your camp, will end up underneath after like 5 to 10 minutes when no one is at your camp. If there are other people, the camp will be maintained and the Deathclaw will be at spot. But if everyone leave, I think for the server load purposes, the game is unloading assets. So the Deathclaw will end up on ground level, but still alive. It will be just on the ground level. We're experimenting a lot with that. About making a copy if it die, as I said, we're unsuccessful, so I don't know if it's possible. If this Deathclaw will die, all copies across all camp slots will disappear. The original will be briefly present at the camp Pokeball, but not forever. I notice after several loads and trying to replicate it again, just disappear. So currently I don't know safe method. As well, if you will have multiple questions after this video, I will probably follow up in the future with questions and answer about more advanced topics in regards to grabbing your pet. If you cannot find those answers already on Duchess Flame website that I will link, there is a lot of answers there. So this is the Deathglow at this camp. If I would want the Deathglow at different camp slot and different variant of the Deathglow, it is very much possible. All I need to do, activate different camp slot. Now there is no Deathglow there. I go back to main menu, so we are doing the same thing. That's how you move your pet. Go play adventure with the new camp slot selected. And this is my turtle camp on the water. You can see through the window the Deathglow is there, but it's different one. As the Deathglow type will change depend where the camp slot is, which region of the world. So it can be upgraded, or it can remain the same, or just change to a different variant. This is standard level 50. That's because it's the forest area. So in here, Deathglow appears as standard level 50. And it will be just roaming this camp. It will try to go on stairs and foundations. That's what he's sticking to. It's a little bit too big for this camp, as you can notice. Struggling slightly to traverse this camp. It cannot really properly patrol it. It's like, this creature is just too big. Doesn't fit. Like, this camp is not small by no means. But this creature just doesn't fit properly on my turtle camp. So now, if you will still have any questions related to pets, feel free to drop them in comment section. Feel free to share your experiences as well about capturing the pet, about keeping it alive for extended period of time. I do appreciate all this information from all of you. As well, if you want to see the best spots, go check this expos. There are people already sharing where they were able to find the pet for their camp. So feel free to check in there. And one last thing, what can you capture the table? Let me show you that. That's the guy, by the way, that I will link. How to find and tame a pet in Fallout 76. As you can notice, this is very nice, comprehensive guide written with a lot of tips and tricks, some routes that people are using for finding those animals. I think this map is slightly outdated, but it's not a big problem. Just some spots change a little bit. But the original article was in 2022, so she will probably update that at some point later. That's the important part. What can you tame? That's the list of animals that you can find and tame. The chances of finding exactly what you want, not the best. The best combat animal overall is Milo King, and it can be even found and tamed as legendary. So yeah, that's the powerhouse for combat. But there is more, of course. There is more of them. Deathglow, Mega Sloth, quite durable ones for your camp as well. Milo King is my number one. I was not successful to find one, spending 2 days looking for it, so it's not easy. I would not recommend to go after any specific one. So total tameable pets, it's 20 kinds of pets that you can get and tame. And now this is everything for this particular guide. I hope it's helpful for you. Let me know if you are able to add a pet to your camp. And that being said, thank you for watching, and see you all in the next one.